Hi everyone, welcome to Crafting with Julia. I'm Julia and I'm so glad you tuned in today. If you enjoy my video, please hit the like button and leave me a comment. I love to get feedback from my viewers. Also, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so you can be notified of all my newly released videos. Also, feel free to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and I invite you to join my Facebook group called Crafting with Julia's Creative Community, where you can be part of my crafting family. All of those links are in the description below this video. Today's video is part of a multicultural holiday DIY challenge hosted by Daniela from Danielita AF, the crafty mixologist, and Jackie from Crafting in Mimi's World. Being that I have an Italian heritage, my DIY for this challenge is La Befana. The legend of La Befana began thousands of years ago and remains to this day a tradition practiced by Italian families. She's an old woman who delivers gifts to children throughout Italy on Epiphany Eve, which is the night of January 5th, in a similar way to Santa Claus. A popular belief is that her name derives from the Feast of Epiphany. In Italian, it means Festa dell'Epifania. As the story goes, one day the three magi left their country bearing special gifts of gold, incense, and myrrh for the newborn Jesus Christ. At every village that they passed, people ran to meet them and accompany them in their journey. But there was an old woman who did not join the Magi. She claimed to be too busy with her housework and promised to join them later when she had time. The next day, she realized her mistake and frantically ran after the Magi with gifts for the children, still clutching her broom. But it was too late. The Magi were long gone. On January 6th, Italians celebrate the Feast of the Epiphany with a national public holiday. Epiphany marks the end of the Christmas period and commemorates the presentation of the infant Jesus to the Magi. We are going to start with the peripherals. I'm going to make the base first. So I got two of these little box things from Dollar Tree. And I went ahead and I drilled a hole in the center to fit my dowel. I'm using a 12-inch dowel. And for the bottom of it, I put some bolts in there and I glued them in there so that it will give it weight on the bottom. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some wood glue and I'm going to put some in the base here. And I'm going to put my dowel on there. And then I'm going to glue the box to this base. So I'm going to put some wood glue around, all the way around. And I'm going to slide this on top of it. And make sure that that's centered. Okay, and then we're going to let that dry. And that's our base. So we're going to let that dry, and now we're going to work on the broom. So I have a thinner dowel that I cut to about, I'll give you the exact measurement. I cut it 7 inches, and I got this raffia from Dollar Tree. It's purple raffia. So we are going to now cut this. And now I'm going to take this ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree, and we're just going to give it a little decorative edge to hide the where the seam is. In the description box below, you are going to find a link for the pattern. You want to download that pattern, print it out, cut it out, and then using the pattern for the face and the body, you're going to cut 2 of these in Lycra, and then you're going to cut 1 of these. This is the nose. You're going to cut 1 also in Lycra. So you're just going to take a needle and thread, and you're just going to go around the perimeter, and we're going to make a little body. So we're just going to go around with a needle and thread, just like this, going around. Okay, then we're going to take some polyfill and we're going to stuff that. Now we're going to do the same thing for the face, only with the face we're not going to stuff it. We're going to use a styrofoam ball. This is a 2 3/4 inch styrofoam ball. So we are going to now do the same thing. We're going to close this up. We're going to stitch around and close it up, and that will be for the head. So I did the same thing with the nose. I sewed that into a little bundle and I stuffed it with a little polyfill, and that will be the nose. So you're going to now cut a 15-inch piece of wire, and we're just going to make a little loop on the one end. Like that, and we're going to attach it to the body right there. So that it's all glued on now, and now we're going to make another spiral at the top, and this is for the head, so we can attach the head. Okay, and now we're going to grab the skirt. So you're going to cut out 2 of these in felt. So what I did was I put that on the felt, and then I just traced it again so that it's all one piece. So you're going to put this on the fold and you're going to trace it out. Okay, so that's that piece. And then you're going to cut out a piece of lace that's 20 inches long. Now with the lace, you're just going to go along the top, and we're going to stitch, we're going to make a running stitch. So I am going to loop my thread so that it doesn't go through the lace. Okay, and I'm just going to make a little running stitch to go along the top here. Okay, now we're ready to put the skirts on the body. So I am just going to tie it up. Now for her arms, I am using this ribbon that I got from Joann's last year. It's actually a tube. So what I did was I stuck pantyhose in the middle of it so that it looks like her flesh, and that's what I'm going to use for the arms. So I'm going to take this piece, and this piece is 8 inches long, and from the seam is where she's going to be riding her broom. So you want her hands to be going this way. So we are just going to attach that right there, like that. So I'm just going to put a little glue on the end and put that right there. And then put a little glue on the other end. Okay, and those are her arms. For the shoes, I'm using a 2-inch styrofoam egg that I cut in half. So you're just going to cut that in half, and I'm using a baby sock. So I'm going to now just split the baby sock in 2. First, I'm just going to cut that off. And I'm going to cut it in 2. And we're just going to wrap the egg . So now we're ready to assemble the head. I'm going to glue her head to the back. I'll glue the back of her head to the wire here. So I'm going to take a little bit of glue. And we're going to glue that right onto there. Now I'm going to paint her face. The next step is to put a collar on her. So I am just using the tip of this sock. I had used it for another project, so this is what I had left over. So I am just going to cut the toe off. And I'm going to turn the two ends in. And now I'm just going to put it over her head. Okay, so there's her collar. Now for her hair. I'm using yarn, and I have a 7-inch piece of cardboard that I wrapped the yarn around 25 times and then tied it off at the top. And then you're just going to snip the end. So now we're going to we're going to glue it to the base of her neck right here, and we're just going to bring it around to the top. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here, and we're going to put it at the base of her neck. Okay, for the hat, you're going to cut out one piece of felt for the top of the hat and one piece for the brim. So for the top of the hat, we're just going to take the two ends and we're going to glue them together. So just taking some glue. We're just going to glue that closed. Okay, and then we're going to take a little bell and I'm going to sew it to the top of the hat. Then we're going to take a little polyfill and stuff the hat. Okay, with the hat, we're going to make a little slit in the center. And now we're going to glue that to the tip of the hat. And now I'm going to embellish the hat with just a little ribbon. So I'm going to take this here and I'm going to glue it to the base here. Now we're ready to put her on the base. So I took a 15-inch wire and I twirled it around the base and I glued it on. And then with this top part here, we're going to make a spiral. Same way we did to attach the head and the body. We're just going to make a little spiral here like this. And this is how we're going to attach it to the body. Okay, so we're going to put a little glue on there and we're going to attach it to her butt. Okay, so I'm going to put a little glue on her butt. And we're going to stick that on. Like that. Now we're going to glue the broom to her hands. So I'm going to put a little glue on the top of the broom, and I'm going to stick it through her hands. Like that. Okay, and then we're going to glue the broom to her butt. And then we're going to take the shoes and we're going to glue the shoes onto each side of the broom. This part here, we're going to decorate. I'm just going to put some ribbon on there. Okay, last but not least, we have to make her eyeglasses. So here's the base all finished. And I embellished her scarf with the same embellishments that I used down here. And now we're going to make some eyeglasses for her. So I'm going to take this little thing that I made. These are the inside of paper towel rolls, and I am going to cut a 16-inch piece of wire. So we're going to start on one end here. We're going to loop it around. We're going to come up, make the bridge of the nose, then go around here, loop it around again, and we end up here. Okay. Then I'm going to take some pliers and we're going to make a loop. Just going to go around. Like that. And there's your eyeglasses. Okay. And now we're just going to put it on her nose. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on both sides of her nose. Actually, you know what? I'll just put it on the eyeglasses. Makes it easier. And we're just going to slip it right onto her nose. And there's her eyeglasses. And she's all done. La Befana. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again real soon. Happy crafting!